You performed this at Edinburgh Fringe. How does the audience in Scotland differ to the audience in South England?
I think the audience in Scotland particularly, I think we find them slightly more up for anything, and I think that the demand when you're particularly performing in London is very sort of high. The expectation particularly is really sort of challenging because they want the very best of the best, and but because of the show, I feel that we're able to probably be able to give them the best of the best, which is great. But Edinburgh's amazing.
And why did you choose the chair for C-12 to perform?
We chose it particularly to perform here, and why we produced it in the first place really was to explore scenarios such as death and prison and murder, and we feel that in amongst those themes is relationships, and for us relationships are really, really important. One with our performers and the audience, but also relationships within the piece. So there's a mother and a son, there's a girlfriend, there's a guard, and the relationship with himself. And it's got so much sort of diversity within that. That's why we thought it was probably the best piece to perform, particularly here.
Do you think your performances would work in a bigger venue, or do you prefer to stick to the piece?
I would say that we created the chair specifically for a small space, and I think with an audience which is here to the cast, I think that's so important, and it does translate into a larger scale, but I think it works best in a smaller space, definitely.
And how do you go about creating a narrative with dance itself?
Well, we create a narrative with dance. My background is in theatre, and the other two choreographers are in dance. So what we tend to do is, with the chair, for example, we storyboarded each scene, so we knew exactly what it's going to be about, and then we put all the storyboards, all the scenes together, and we devised each scene through movement. So we would come up with a scenario like guy trapped in a prison cell, all he's got is a guard, his intention is to leave the space, and the guard's intention is to keep the guard in the space. Can you improvise that for 20 minutes or so? And then we kind of just pick up the movements, and then we can sort of thread the story through. So it's about putting a narrative through into dance. November 11th is a date you need to put in your diary for the chair Rich Mix. It starts at 8 p.m. Explosive dance theatre, exploring one man's journey into his past. He's killed someone and we were in prison. It's worth a see.